81% of Earth's surface is covered with water. The 5 oceans of the world rule the planet. Oceans are responsible for the existence of life in our world. Life started in the ocean, and today, more than 230,000 marine species call the sea their home. Oceans control the Earth's climate and temperature. They balance heat and are crucial for the creation of rainfall. On average, the 5 oceans of the world have a salinity of roughly 3.5%. However, regions like the Mediterranean, the Atlantic, and the Bay of Bengal have higher salinity levels.
But do you know the name and the size of the world's oceans?
The largest ocean in the world, the Pacific Ocean, is 10 times bigger than the smallest one, the Arctic Ocean. The Pacific Ocean got its name from Fernão de Magalhães, the Portuguese explorer who organized the first circumnavigation of the Earth. In 1521, Magalhães, often called Magellan, called it Mar Pacifico. The Pacific Ocean covers more than 30% of our planet's surface, and it is bigger than the landmass of all continents. Interestingly, the smallest ocean in the world, the Arctic Ocean, has 25% of the planet's undiscovered petroleum resources.
The Pacific Ocean, 168,723,000 square kilometers. The Pacific Ocean represents 45% of the global ocean coverage. It is also the largest body of water and the single biggest feature on planet Earth. The widest point in an east-west direction is 19,300 kilometers, extending almost halfway around the world, 15,500 kilometers from north to south. The Pacific is the deepest ocean with an average depth of 4,200 meters, plunging to the unmatched depth of 10,920 meters in the Mariana Trench. In the winter, the northern half of the North Pacific is raked by high winds of over 55 kilometers per hour, usually blowing from the west. These winds can generate sustained seas of over 5 meters to pound North America and Hawaii's western shores. The tropical band of the western North Pacific is under the influence of the Asian monsoon. Strong sea trades extend to the equator in January and generate seas of up to 10 feet 3 meters. Generally, light winds are experienced in the eastern equatorial Pacific throughout the year, and wave height is maintained by swell propagation from both the North and South Pacific westerlies. The South Pacific experiences strong westerlies, flowing between the 35 to 60 degrees mid-latitudes throughout the year. This broad corridor extending from New Zealand to Cape Horn reaches maximum activity from June to September, when the S2SW swells primarily affect the central and eastern Pacific. In the tropics, the trade winds are less extensive and weaker than the North Pacific, so this area relies on long-distance oscillations from the mid-latitude westerlies in either hemisphere. 2. The Atlantic Ocean, 85,133,000 square kilometers. The Atlantic Ocean is the world's second largest ocean, with 22% of the global sea area, increasing to 29% when the neighboring seas are included. Bisected by the equator, the greatest distance from east to west in the North Atlantic is 6,900 kilometers from Morocco to Florida and 6,500 kilometers from Cape Horn to Cape of Good Hope in the South Atlantic. The average depth is 3,660 meters, and the deepest point is located in the Puerto Rico Trench at 8,648 meters. The North Atlantic is the windiest and roughest ocean, with strong winter westerlies of over 55 kilometers per hour, generating a band of seas greater than 15 feet 4.5 meters, in the 30th to 60th zone and sending the biggest waves to the eastern shore of the basin. There is a significant seasonal variation with much weaker winds and swells occurring in summer. The trade winds blowing from the subtropical highs around 30 degrees north towards the equator are sustained throughout the year but weaker than those in the North Pacific. An extensive area of light winds or doldrums dominates the equatorial regions apart from a weak SW monsoon experienced in the Gulf of Guinea around July. The South Atlantic is the smallest ocean and is unusual because it has a complete lack of tropical storm activity. The barrier provided by the Andes produces a slight reduction of strength in the sea trade winds and a marked reduction of waves in the southwest throughout the year. Overall, the Atlantic trades are the weakest of all oceans. 3. The Indian Ocean. 70,560,000 square kilometers. The Indian Ocean occupies 20% of the global sea area and is quite similar in size to the Atlantic. It is located in the southern hemisphere, with little area located north of the equator. It is 6,400 kilometers wide at the equator. The average depth is 3,897 meters, with the Java Trench bottoming out at 7,725 meters. The low latitude of the westerly flow can clash with the icy polar easterlies, creating unpredictable and gusty winds. These winds have the greatest range of anywhere on the planet, leading to the term roaring 40s, which produce large ocean swells, resulting in regular, fully arisen seas. Peak mean waves of over 15 feet (4.5 meters) are observed in July-August, and unlike the northern hemisphere, the seasonal change is minimal. The Asian-Australasian monsoon dominates the eastern half of the Indian Ocean throughout summer, March, when strong NW winds blow throughout Indonesia and northern Australia, while May winds flow towards India. In the western half of the Indian Ocean, there is a winter July SW monsoon, which reaches its greatest intensity around Somalia Jet. The remainder of the subtropical to equatorial zone is mostly influenced by sea trades. The Southern Ocean, 21,960,000 square kilometers. The Southern Ocean circles Antarctica and connects the Indian, Atlantic, and Pacific Oceans. The Antarctic Circumpolar Current (ACC) is the strongest current in the world and flows toward the east. 5. The Arctic Ocean, 15,558,000 square kilometers. The Arctic Ocean is the smallest ocean on the planet. It is nearly fully surrounded by Asia, Europe, Greenland, and North America. During winter, it is mostly frozen. During summer, only half of its surface melts. The Arctic Ocean gets plenty of fresh water from the large Siberian rivers and warm salt water from the Atlantic Ocean, 80%, and Pacific Ocean, 20%. The icebergs that break away from Greenland represent 2% of the water that comes out from the Arctic Ocean. There are several surface currents and winds moving around in the area. The Arctic and the Atlantic Oceans are connected by the Northwest Passage, a challenging sailing route.